14 of the fantasy baseball season. And right here, a few more days till the All-Star break. So Sunday will be the last games before next Thursday, the 15th, that the All-Star break comes here. So I probably won't be doing videos from Saturday on here. But anyway, here's a few pitchers I would look to buy low and trade for this week. The first guy's Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies. So Nola, obviously the ace of this Phillies staff the last few seasons. But so far this season, it's been a mediocre to poor season according to his standards for Nola. On the season, 101 and a third innings, 6-5 record, 100 hits, 51 earned runs, 15 homers, 23 walks, 126 strikeouts, a 4.53 ERA, a 1.21 whip, and 7 quality starts on the season. In the last couple weeks here for Nola, 16 innings, 1-1 record, 17 hits, 11 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 31 strikeouts, 6.19 ERA, and a 1.19 whip. So Nola right now, he's not really going deep into games, and the only positive thing for him is he's striking out a lot of batters, especially in the last couple weeks, 31 Ks in only 16 innings. So that's almost 2 strikeouts an inning here for Nola. And we know he's an ace. We know he's a great pitcher, but he just hasn't lived up to the bill most of the season here. And he's been bombed a few times as well, where he's only gone 2 or 3 innings. So right now, while his value's low and he's not pitching good, I think you definitely could get Nola on a discount. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him turn things around here after the All-Star break. So the last few outings for Nola: June 25th at the Mets, 5 1/3, no decision, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, 12 Ks, and 0.56 whip. June 30th versus Miami, 4 2/3, got the loss, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 11 Ks, a 13.5 ERA, and a 1.93 whip. And July 6th at Chicago, 6 innings, got the win, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, a walk, 8 Ks, 6 ERA, and a 1.17 whip. In that ball game, the Phillies won a shootout, 15-10. So right now, Nola, he's not hitting his spots. He's not going deep into games, especially like I mentioned with the high strikeouts for him as well. In the last 3 games for Nola, 31 strikeouts. So he's pitching high strikeouts. He's not walking batters, which is a good sign. But teams are hitting him as well here, with Nola giving up 15 hits in his last 2 outings. So right now, while his value is low, he's definitely a player I would go out there and try to get in. His next outing Sunday, July 11th, at the Boston Red Sox. The next pitcher I would look to go out there and buy low is Dallas Keuchel of the Chicago White Sox. So Dallas Keuchel, he's been up and down this season, but mostly downs for him. And even fantasy owners this week have dropped him in 7% of leagues. On the season, 90 1/3, 6-3 record, 96 hits, 45 earned runs, 12 homers, 30 walks, 55 strikeouts, a 4.48 ERA, and a 1.39 whip with 6 quality starts on the season here for Keuchel. So Keuchel last season, he had a 1.99 ERA, and this season, obviously, he hasn't come close to that. And last year, he only pitched to 63 innings. And the last couple weeks here for Keuchel, 9 innings, 0-1 record, 13 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 homers, 4 walks, 6 hits, a 9 ERA, 1.89 whip. So right here, he's been getting hit hard the last 2 or 3 outings here is Keuchel. And even when he's pitched well, he really hasn't gone deep into ball games. The last time he's gone 6 innings or more was June 15th. So the last 3 outings have been mediocre to poor for Keuchel. June 20th at Houston, 2 2/3, got the loss, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks, 10.13 ERA with a 4.13 whip. June 26th versus Seattle, 5 innings, no decision, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers given up, a walk, 4 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. And then July 3rd at Detroit, 4 innings, got the loss, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, a homer, 3 walks, 2 Ks, a 15.75 ERA, and a 2.50 whip. So his next outing is tomorrow, July 9th at the Baltimore Orioles. Here is Dallas Keuchel. But right now, he's just not going deep into games. He's not getting outs. But with that weak AL Central, I think Dallas Keuchel definitely could turn things around. And he might even be available on your waiver wire, like I mentioned. He's still out there in 39% of fantasy leagues. So right now, if he's on your wire, you pick him up. And right now, if a team's trying to dangle him in your league, you don't got to give up much at all here to get him, especially after he got bombed the last few outings. The next pitch is Aroldis Chapman of the New York Yankees. So Chapman, it's been a train wreck for one of the top closers drafted in fantasy baseball this season here. On the season, 29 and 2/3, 5-3 record, 16 saves, 22 hits, 15 earned runs, 5 homers, 22 walks, 52 strikeouts, a 4.55 ERA, and a 1.48 whip. So right now, he's not hitting the strike zone, is Chapman. He's wild, he's all over the place, and he's been giving up a lot of home runs of late as well here, is Chapman. The last couple weeks for him, 1 1/3, 0-1 record, 3 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 walks, 3 Ks, a 47.25 ERA, and a 6.75 whip. So right here, this Yankee team, they've been struggling of late, is this team, and hopefully they could get things going. But right now, Aroldis Chapman, he's not pitching good, and I think he needs a few days just to get his mind right and to go out there and just pitch when not tough situations or safe situations, just to get his control down, him hit the strike zone, and him just challenge guys what he knows best with that fastball. And right now, in last night's game versus the Seattle Mariners, they didn't bring him in a save opportunity, was Chapman. So right now, I don't think they're going to pull him from the closer's role, but they're going to take time from him here, a couple days, and just let him rest and get his mind right, as Chapman. But right now, since he's been getting bombed and hit hard, you don't got to give much at all to get him, in my opinion, especially with that 47.25 ERA over the last couple outings for him. And now people worry he might not be the closer there for the Yankees. This is a perfect time to go out there and trade for Chapman if you need a closer, while his value is super low. The next pitcher is Patrick Corbin of the Washington Nationals. So Corbin, he's been a weird pitcher this season. 1 good start, 1 bad start. He just can't put everything together all at once on the season. For him, 93 1/3, 6-7 record, 100 hits, 56 earned runs, 18 homers, 31 walks, 73 strikeouts, 5.40 ERA, and a 1.40 whip with 8 quality starts on the season. So in the last couple weeks, 16 2/3, 1-2 record, 20 hits, 10 earned runs, 4 homers, 3 walks, 11 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.38 whip with 2 quality starts here for Patrick Corbin. So right now, he's not going out there and pitching great ball games. Like I said, he's Jekyll and Hyde. 1 good game, 1 bad game, 1 good game. And it shows by the record with him. It shows by the last few outings with him, where he'll have a quality start, then a poor start, then a quality start. But right now, I think Corbin's a pretty good pitcher, and he definitely could turn things around here in the second half for this national team, because I don't think he's a pitcher where that ERA is going to finish at a 5. So right now, where he's available still in 47% of fantasy leagues on the wire, or be out there on the trade block, this is a perfect time to go out there and get Corbin. The last few outings for him, like I mentioned, June 26 in Miami, 6 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 6 Ks, 4.50 ERA, 0.83 whip, and the quality start. July 1st versus the Dodgers, 4 2/3, got the loss, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, a walk, 2 Ks, a 9.64 ERA, a 1.93 whip. And then yesterday at San Diego, 6 innings, got the win, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 3 ERA, 1.50 whip, and a quality start. So right here, like I mentioned, he's Jekyll and Hyde. Every other outing he's good. And some fantasy owners, they just don't want to deal with that inconsistency of Corbin. So right now, while he's been inconsistent most of the season, this is a perfect time to go out there and trade for him before he gets consistent and pitches well. On the 5th and final pitcher, I look to buy low and trade for this week's Carlos Carrasco of the New York Mets. So yes, we haven't seen Carlos Carrasco the whole season. He was the throw-in piece, which I thought was a big piece as well in that Francisco Lindor deal here from the Indians to the New York Mets. And Carrasco, he was a great pitcher last season for the Indians. 68 innings, 3-4 record, 55 hits, 22 earned runs, 8 homers, 27 walks, 82 strikeouts, a 2.91 ERA, and a 1.21 whip. So right now the Mets, they're in first place here in the National League East. And they pretty much got 2 rotation spots open. David Peterson, he got hurt with an oblique strain. He's out to September. Noah Syndergaard, in his rehab assignments a few weeks ago, he got hurt. He's most likely out to September for the whole season for all we know here. And also Joey Lucchesi, he's getting Tommy John. He's out for the season. So right now the Mets are patching up their 4th and 5th spots in their rotation with unknown guys and McGill. And then this guy Stock they had pitched last night. And also openers some nights as well. And Corey Oswald, who also went on the DL. So right now the Mets are in need of pitching in the back end. Then Carlos Carrasco, he threw a 20-pitch live bullpen last week on Tuesday. So right now, maybe he could get things going, is Carrasco. He could get into simulated games through the All-Star break or rehab games, and maybe he could come back in Week 15 or Week 16 of the fantasy baseball season. And right now, while there's nothing on him this season, and owners, they're getting tired of waiting for him, this is a perfect time to try to make a move for him and get him in a deal before he starts pitching for this Met team, because we know he's got good upside. We know he's going to be on a first-place team that keeps winning ball games, and pulling him out here is Carrasco. So right now, while you could get him while we haven't seen anything from him, and his value is the lowest it could be, this is a time to buy him low and trade for him. So that's a few pitches I look to buy low and trade for here in Week 14 of the fantasy baseball season.